Just imagine getting fired on your day off.
You're fired!
And having to explain to your wife that the reason why you got fired is because you were getting a little too freaky with your male coworkers. That is basically what many believe is happening to Christian Wilkins right now. After getting released by the Raiders, we have more bizarre reports coming out about Wilkins' zesty behavior with his teammates. I honestly feel bad for Wilkins. Fans are storming his Instagram page right now, commenting all kinds of crazy things, calling him the P. Diddy of the NFL, which is going way too far. But nonetheless, this is a real story that keeps growing and keeps getting bigger. Let's break down what's actually happening to Christian Wilkins right now and how this could affect his ability to join a new team this year. So at first, Wilkins was essentially released by the Raiders for not following their team's medical advice and going about his rehab differently. But then all of a sudden, a few days after, we got some interesting reports about another reason why he may have been released. A report emerged by Josina Anderson saying that Wilkins had an incident with a teammate which led to his release by the Raiders. Right after that vague as hell report came out, you had NFL player, former guard Jonathan Feliciano, played with the Buffalo Bills, played with the Oakland Raiders, and also played with the San Francisco 49ers. This guy dropped a random tweet that went viral responding to this report, saying that the brother has always been a little freaky. And this comment led to people scouring the internet to find out more freaky details about Christian Wilkins. NFL insider Adam Schefter gave more details on this report, saying that Christian Wilkins puckered up to this teammate.
From speaking to people inside the locker room, I think what everybody's dancing around, tiptoeing around, is the fact that when you speak to people there inside the locker room, they say that Christian playfully went to kiss a teammate on top of his head, and those same people said that that player took offense to it. So that's what everybody's been dancing around and tap dancing around, an incident in the locker room where he allegedly playfully kissed a teammate on top of his head. That teammate felt offended by it.
And I don't know about you, but in my experience, historically, whatever information the team allows to get out there, which is Wilkins kissed a teammate playfully on the head, that's usually a lot more tame than the real story. What actually happened behind the scenes, because maybe this is not the first time Christian Wilkins has kissed a teammate on the head. And you had a retweet by Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk to this report by Adam Schefter, saying that is definitely not the story that has been making the rounds, implying that something much crazier and maybe a lot more salacious was happening behind the scenes. And that is why that retweet got 2.4 million views. And now we have compilations going viral on the internet of suspect behavior by Christian Wilkins over his career, including putting his fingers in the booty of an opponent. Oh my goodness, yeah. So he's definitely. Oh, there you go. Right there. A little extra hand. Boom. Oh, you got to make sure you get a little poke in there. You got to get a little poke in there. And then a little video of him dancing. A lot of people thought the splits was a little interesting in the dry hump back in college over there at Clemson. And then you have Christian Wilkins here getting into an altercation with Josh Allen. What did he do here? Oh, whoa. Go back. Josh Allen laying right there. Christian Wilkins put his hand. You can see Josh Allen is on the ground right here. Christian Wilkins is laying right here. And Josh Allen gets up very fast and gets really upset. Ooh. From the looks of it, and I could be wrong, it looks like Christian may have been reaching around. And we're now also learning that Christian Wilkins has kissed opponents in the past too, not just teammates. You got a little smooch here on the neck, not exactly the forehead. And the most hilarious thing to go randomly viral is Christian Wilkins with none other than Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow and Christian Wilkins posing right here. Wilkins doing the little kiss face to Renfrow. And you can see, they're smiling together. They're friends from their time at Clemson. That's where they played together. But then you see another kiss here. Renfrow saying, hey, come on, man, not another wet one. Hold on a second. And then you got Christian Wilkins having some playful fun with his friend Hunter Renfrow. Seems all good and fun, but these images all have a different meaning after the latest allegations. And my favorite of all, this picture has gone viral. Christian Wilkins hanging out courtside with none other than Mad Max Crosby. This guy apparently gave him a wet one. Who knows if he complained to HR or not. And at first, when all this came out, I was actually going to defend Christian Wilkins. I was going to say, hey man, these NFL players do weird things to have a competitive advantage, try to psych people out. Maybe you're going to poke some booty holes like we're saying here if you have to do that. And you know, these people are like brothers. When you're hanging out in the locker room, you're feeling all kinds of emotions being a part of a team. Maybe you're going to go ahead and try to smooch a Renfro on the cheek or Max Crosby on the cheek. Maybe that's just normal playful behavior and this guy's a comedy guy. That's his whole shtick. But then we got some comments from current Raiders players defensive tackle Adam Butler. He was asked about the Christian Wilkins incident, and I find his response to really change everything that I originally thought about this whole Christian Wilkins thing. I thought it was just a joke. It was just a nothing burger, something to go viral. It's just another way for NFL fans to make fun of a player, and that's happening actively. You got a comment one day ago, Diddy shaking my head. We seen that video of you need help for real. And then you got the Diddy shaking his head gif. Bro kissed the homies goodnight and got fired. You got more comments like this. And I thought, hey, this is just a salacious story, so people are gonna glom onto it and make fun of it. But what Adam Butler says here is pretty serious, and it sounds like he thinks Christian Wilkins needs some help.
Adam, there's obviously been a lot of controversy around the defensive line group after the release of Christian Wilkins. How have you seen your unit be able to leave that as just outside noise and hone in on your craft?
Yeah, we pretty much just kind of moved on from the situation. You know, I really don't want to comment further on it, but I will say that, you know, whatever you're going through as a person, you know, athlete, non-athlete, whoever, whatever your struggle is, if you got something going on in life, just, you know, talk to somebody, get some therapy. You know, whatever your deal is your deal. Somebody out there in this world full of billions of people is willing to listen. They're willing to listen, hear you out, and help you work through whatever you need to work through. But don't make any hasty decisions. Get help.
So I found that very interesting. He said, hey, I'm not going to comment on this situation, but, and then he goes on to talk about how if you need help, you got problems in your life, maybe consider seeing a therapist. Basically saying, he's basically implying that Christian Wilkins needs to see a therapist, that there is a real problem going on, not just a joke, not just an excuse to release this guy, which is totally possible by the Raiders to try to find a way to get out of that contract. No, Adam Butler is giving more evidence here that there's a serious problem going on with Christian Wilkins. He needs to seek help, and this may really affect Wilkins' ability to join another team this year. This is a story that does not seem like it's going to go away. It's officially published by ESPN. It's not just some random rumors anymore. It's an official report filed to the Raiders HR by this Raiders player who felt uncomfortable by Christian Wilkins' kiss. The Raiders are going through a contract dispute with Christian Wilkins. He's still going to get paid $9 million a year for the next 3 years, as far as I'm concerned. But he's also trying to collect $35 million of fully guaranteed money that the Raiders voided because he did not go about his rehab process the way that the Raiders doctors thought that he should have. So this story is not going away at all. The Raiders are probably trying to use this incident as extra ammo to get out of paying this $35 million to Christian Wilkins. And who knows, Christian Wilkins' agent, David Mulgeta, this same guy who represents Deshaun Watson. Isn't that funny that Mulgeta's representing two guys who have some freaky allegations out there? But this agent could be using this story as a way to downplay the reason why Wilkins got released. Hey, if it's for some behavioral issues, one HR incident, that's not as bad as Wilkins being released because he's not rehabbing injury correctly. This could be sending the message that Wilkins is healthier than the Raiders are letting on. And teams are currently thinking about signing Christian Wilkins right now. The New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel. By the way, that's who the Raiders are playing week 1, Patriots versus Raiders. Josh McDaniels versus Raiders revenge game after he was fired as their head coach. It's going to be a very interesting matchup, but Mike Vrabel, the head coach, talked about how they're going to have a conversation about possibly bringing in Christian Wilkins and signing him. But in my opinion, there has to be something more to the story. Clearly, Max Crosby doesn't seem too upset in this picture by the kiss from Christian Wilkins, probably thinks he's joking around, doesn't seem like it's that serious. And I'm sensing the same vibe here from Hunter Renfrow. Not that he's actually worried, actually feeling uncomfortable, just thinks it's a playful, fun thing here. So there has to be something more to the story because Christian Wilkins is insanely athletic and makes the Raiders so much better. He is either completely unhealthy or, like Mike Florio is suggesting here, there is something much more crazy that he did behind the scenes. Perhaps he has a history of making teammates uncomfortable, because I just do not think that you would lose that much money. You're still going to be paying this guy $9 million a year minimum, even if you win the settlement against him. And with how talented that guy could be when he's healthy, I just don't think the Raiders would shut it all down because of this. The first preseason game is finally here on Thursday, July 31st, and I will be live during that game, and I'll also be live during the Raiders' first preseason game. But make sure you join me on this channel Thursday live for the Hall of Fame game so we can chat and react to it in real time. Peace out. I hope you have a good one.